Okay, so the next question is a little different. So the question is, did I hear about Minded getting a $25 million raise? So yeah, so this is one of those questions. So I have lots of friends who are entrepreneurs. I have lots of friends who do all sorts of things. And what we've noticed over the last 24 months or so is that there are more and more businesses investing in mental health related companies, which theoretically is a yay, right? You would think, oh my gosh, this is great. We're finally funding companies that are increasing access to care, especially mental health care, because it's so misunderstood and underfunded, and there's all the stigma and all this kind of stuff. And normally I would say that's a good thing. Yeah, I'd be with you. I'd be like, yeah, that's real good. The problem is that there are always players in every market that do things that are not that seem helpful on its face, and then on the background are not so helpful. When it comes to this particular company, I'm sure the people who run it are, I guess, they're good folks. I don't know. I don't know them personally. I can't speak to that. What I can speak to is that one of their business models is making sure that people get their medicines, especially like mail order pharmacy, because their supposition is that since there are more people who are having mental health concerns, more people getting diagnosed with mental health issues, that they're going to need medicine. So why not make it really affordable and convenient for people with mental health issues to get their medicine? Which, I can't argue with that. I mean, that sounds like a reasonable thing. The part that gives me pause, and again, this is me speaking on behalf of me, not speaking on behalf of my company, not speaking on behalf of any of my colleagues. This is just a personal opinion, so take it for what it's worth. The problem with that is that implies a direct need for medications. And if there's one thing that I've learned, is quite a bit of mental health care can be improved without medicines. And let me say this again before anybody misunderstands me. If you need to be on a medicine, I am very well trained to put you on a medicine, to monitor that medicine, give you all the risks and support you while you're on the medicine, so on and so forth. So I'm not saying the medicines aren't important. What I am saying is if you build an entire company whose only goal is to provide medications through the mail, that gives me pause. And especially when it's a $25 million company, because the incentive is to get more pills into the mail. The incentive is not, hey, let me make sure that this person has access to a therapist. Hey, let me make sure that this person has access to a green park or clean air or water or appropriate psychiatric services. That's not the goal. And so I worry a lot about what's happening in our market. I worry a lot about the mental health sector because there is so much money flying into this, especially from people that we can't find. So they come in with names like venture capitalists and private equity, and you're like, ooh, who are these people? And that the names are really bombastic, but you never quite know who's behind it, and that always gives me pause because at the end of the day, I've learned that people are generally somewhat reasonable when you talk to them as people, but when they start to kind of hide behind different names and things, it gets very dicey very fast. So I'm sure to recap. Was I excited about this? Meh, meh. One of the other reasons, and just being blunt and honest, is I know people who do care, who do direct care. So these are therapists, these are psychiatrists and psychologists and counselors who are working with people directly. And as psychologists, counselors, and therapists, they don't prescribe medications. And they're doing the best they can. And their companies, their practices aren't getting $25 million from anybody, right? But they are still there on the front lines, doing everything that they can to help people feel better. And so when I hear these big, bold headlines, but about these, companies promoting medications, but I don't hear the same big, bold headlines and bylines about therapists who are, really kicking ass and taking names. That bugs me because it starts to it creates an ethos, it creates a belief that there are no therapists out there, right? Or that the only therapists that are worth anything are the ones that you see on podcasts or on TV, like the Brene Browns and the Deepak Chopras. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's wonderful people doing work literally right now to help save lives and improve people's quality of life. So all of that is to say, did I hear about the raise? Yeah, I heard about it. Am I excited? Meh. But all the more important reason why you should find a therapist, pay them well because they're working really hard for you, and make sure that if you're on a medicine that you take it, by all means, make sure that you're getting your medications at an affordable rate because that's super helpful too. But yeah, so and that was not a traditional psychiatry question, but we want y'all to know that at Simply Psych, we believe in the reintegration of mental health into our modern lifestyle, and talking about money and politics and sociological stressors is all part of our responsibility. So